that I don't feel it all. Scarred up inside, so I built all these walls. My head rolling back, but I'm faking the rush. I'm out every night and I'm lonely as fuck. I make my own rules.
Chapter 1. The Megaphone. When you think of a megaphone, do you think of something loud and you can hear anyone from using it a mile away? You're just thinking, wow, that person is pretty loud. But I know this sounds really cliche, but I could call myself a megaphone. Everywhere I go, you can hear me because of my personality as a megaphone, loud and out there. I use my loudness to cheer many people up like my friends and family, or just to make things more fun. However, that's how I am as a person. Many people may think I'm annoying, but personally, I don't care what people say about me. It's their perspective of me. Like when people use a megaphone, it's pretty audacious, and they just don't care, which is how I am as a person. Since my grandparents came to the United States to start a new life for the future generations, no one was left behind. With everything a family member did, someone was there. If a family member was in trouble, needed hope, or just support, you weren't going to be alone. The small pack of lions turned into a massive pack that became 33 grandkids, 37 great-grandkids, and 2 great-great-grandkids that keeps on growing by day. It created my great family that helped me shape into the person I am today. My parents making sacrifices for every single one of my siblings and I taught me that family doesn't mean just blood. The people who are always to my left and to my right supported every decision I had to decide. The girls who I spent every late night practicing water polo and the friends that came to every home game helped me after every failure is my family. Family is important, but it just doesn't mean by blood. It means by who's been there for you, who's pushed you through the tough times, who makes sacrifices, and especially the ones that you could trust is family.
Then I saw you in a dream, right? I wanna call you. I kind of feel that I can't name. It's strange.
From the time I can remember, the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, always freaked me out. Deciding on what I wanted to be for the rest of my life was no bueno. The majority of my family furthered their education to become the teacher rather than the student. It brought an interest to me mostly because of the colorful rooms and making my own rules. As growing up, I've always played classroom with my little brother, Dominic, that made me become more interested. However, as him and I became older, it made the career a memory. As I was growing up, so did my grandma, which made her ill that made the hospital her second home. That home captured my attention. As my grandma received her last days, I focused on the details of the dedication the doctors gave to my family and I to try to give her more days. Sometimes they couldn't always be saved. This brought the love of medicine towards me to help people and their loved ones, but also to try to incorporate the love I have for sports.
I wanna call you. I kind of feel that I can't name.
Ever since I started water polo, I hated it, and I didn't like the first thing about it, like how I wasn't great at it. Time passed, and my skills were developing slowly. The sport I had hated became what my life had revolved around. A tournament I was in with pure guys made me realize that I had to leave everything I had in the pool to show everyone what I was made of. Game after game brought win after win. That gave my team and I a chance to win first place. Winning first place brought a joy to me that taught me no matter what I'm going through is to leave it in the pool. Every terrible energy in the pool brought peace to me. Not just that, it showed me to show what I got, but put joy into it, not hatred. The pool is my happiest place on earth.
Downtown we let it go, sunset high and our bodies low, blood rush in a hazy glow. My hands, your bones, loose up, we break the scene. One step deep as you fall to me. Hot clap, we skip a beat, count 1, 2, 3.
From the time I was born, I didn't know I was going to have a person who pushed me to do my greatest without me knowing. Once I started club water polo at Irvine, my sister Amanda and I grew closer. However, to me, the sport wasn't everything, but to her, it was everything that I didn't understand why until now. Once I started practice, my sister made me cry with the criticism of what I did. that wanted me to quit the sport, but she didn't let me. Time passed and my skills were developed, but not enough to my coach, which was my sister at the time. When it was time my sister had to move to Hawaii for college, I knew I wasn't going to have my sister here and judging me in every little thing I did in practices and games. With her departure, practices and games weren't the same. Her criticism made me better, actually growing into a person that doesn't take criticism personally, but I take it to a form to push myself. From her, I wouldn't be able to say that I learned criticism as an act of motivation. My sister brought this realization that all these years she did what she had to do for a reason.
Break the scene. One step deep as you fall to me. Hot clap, we skip a beat. Count 1, 2, 3. And don't you stop the music getting too.
In middle school, I thought I found a great group of friends, especially a best friend that we clicked right away. Freshman year arrived, and I was involved with someone that I thought she approved of. At first, she approved of the relationship, but in the long run, I found out it brought rumors, lies, and anger. The relationship I was in for my freshman year brought a crack in my friendship. When summer hit, the friendship crumbled down with rumors and lies, but I made excuses for that person because she was my best friend at the time. Once the school year started again, we weren't as close as I wanted to be, and I thought we had each other's backs until I heard she was saying how I wasn't over the relationship between my past, or how I was obsessive, and also she made me question on who I am. I had enough, and I told her about the situation and how I felt, but she told me that trust wasn't in her vocabulary. I learned that a true friend wouldn't talk behind your back, that I can't let people talk me down no matter what relationship I have between them.
As we get down in the road below, caught up in an overflow. My hands are bones, wide-eyed to look at me, set on fire until the dream.
Growing up was always trying my best in academics, sports, and everyday life, with trying to be the best that life throws at me. To this day, I'm always so hard on myself with the mistakes I endure, but the motivation and reassurance I got from my parents and coach helped me. Ever since I've been playing water polo, it created a determination to help my parents to give me every little thing I need for the sport to be successful. My parents work hard to get me where I am. With my parents becoming very active with my water polo passion, it created a bond with my coach to help me have a spotless skills physically and mentally. My coach for water polo and swim pushes me to the point I didn't know I had or could even discover at this time and age. The goals I put for myself, my coach OJ helped me make them a reality. With that, I thought I couldn't do what was possible.
You can do it, won't you dance with me? Move your feet and feel it in the space between. You gotta give yourself a moment, let your body be. We gotta lose it, we gotta lose it, we gotta lose it.
When I was in club before I entered high school, I played with all guys. But once the end of water polo season, I knew I wanted to play with girls, so right away I thought of SoCal Water Polo, which was a well-known club. The first practice, I didn't fit in, an outcast as you might say. The coach made me feel like I wasn't good enough and made me play with younger girls because it didn't look like I had the experience I said I did. Not just that, but the attitude the girls' team gave me when I found out I was Mexican and how I could afford to be playing on this team. That didn't stop me, so I went to try out for a new club called United, which my coach recommended. I was right away put to play with 18U and played against girls 2 or 3 years older than me. It made me learn don't stop what you love to do, no matter where you came from and how you look. Ever since I was little, I was always that person who made everyone smile and laugh no matter what. The only time I was blaming the world was when something didn't go my way. As I was getting older, I realized I'm like a calm wave with no care in the world of what people thought of me, or even when life hit me with something, I moved forward, until the day my grandma passed away. My grandma raised me as a calm, fun, in the sun wave. When death took her, I was full of anger like a hurricane is when there's a massive storm, with it destroying everything in its way that nothing can stop it. After the funeral, I was angry all the time, isolated myself, and especially didn't want to do anything with my family. People who cared about me didn't like the way I was living my life of anger and sorrow. A person told me you can be joyful of what you got and have, or you can be depressed of what you don't have. It's your decision, but you have to decide your future. No one else can. Hearing those words made me realize that no one, mostly my grandma, didn't want me to be a hurricane of anger.
We gotta lose it, we gotta lose it, we gotta lose it, we gotta lose it, we gotta lose it.
My last chapter, chapter 10, and it's my 5 tips to be uncomfortable. All of us have our safe bubble with our safe people, our safe area, but in reality, we need to learn to be uncomfortable. Leave yourself. You might be thinking like, what do you mean leave yourself? Like leave, like change how you are or what? No, it means to leave a legacy, leave a mark. When you're given a project, a friendship, or just something in general, you're expected to leave 110%, give it your all, as people might say. And honestly, that is what I live by. Don't dwell on your mistakes, but learn from it. From the day we were born until the day we die, we're going to make mistakes. You don't want to be dwelling on those mistakes because that's really unhealthy, and you're going to have this mentality that, like, I'm no good. I remember that time I made a mistake. Well, have the mentality like, I could learn from it. Even though I made that mistake, I'm going to be better. Life with happiness and laughter, don't change yourself. We're never promised the next day, the next hour, the next second, the next millisecond, or whatever. But we have to learn to live life to the fullest. Live life day by day. And also, you have to have laughter in your life. And not just that, but don't change yourself for someone else. No matter who they are to you, don't be changing yourself on how you look and how you act. If they don't like how you act, then they're not worth your time and energy. And if they don't like how you dress, then peace out. Last but not least, you're going to be making sacrifices, and it's okay to say no. Saying no is a part of life. Saying yes all the time, people are going to be thinking, okay now, they're going to do anything I ask them to, so I can walk all over them. Well, sometimes it doesn't always mean that. It just means like, wow, you're really nice. But sometimes you have to think about yourself. It's okay to be making sacrifices. Life isn't all about the other person to your left and to your right. It's about you and how you're going to be benefiting from other things.